So here we have a map about Illumin training. At the center of the map we have a word and a picture. In some cases it'll be a word or a picture, but we've got the word Illumin and the logo that we use to represent the company. Straight away you'll notice that the page is in landscape orientation. That's to say longer across the page than down the page. And the choice of main branches depend entirely, of course, on the purpose of your mind map. In this case we just wanted to describe what Illumin training is all about. So we started with some very basic information about the organisation that I'll expand out in a moment. There's a branch briefly about the clients, and choice of delivery modes and things that we do, and a little bit more information about the specific aspect of training that we focus on, which is management and personal skills development training, focus on improving thinking skills. So starting at the centre of the page, as I said, and then radiating out to successive levels of detail. So on this branch, the About Illumin, we've got contact information, a little bit about our overall approach, when we were founded, where we're based, a little bit about our web presence. We've been accredited by Investors in People for many years now, and a little about the courses. If I want to expand those out a little bit further, I may start to use descriptors, describing and amplifying what was on the previous level of detail. So the courses are practical and have high impact and lasting impact. If I want to expand this branch here, looking at our web presence, we have 3 different websites. We have our main website, www.illumin.co.uk. we have an international site, and we have a site dedicated just to mind mapping. As I say, there's some information here about where we're located, in Windsor in the UK, and founded in 1996. We, and hopefully our clients as well, describe our approach as friendly, professional and flexible. And a little bit more information there about how to contact us. So you'll notice that most of the words are single words written always along the lines. And we've got this hierarchy of ideas developing. So the ideas around the outside of the central image about thinking, choice and clients are subsets of Illumin. As we go out to the next level of detail, these ideas, contact, approach, founded, location and so on, are subsets of about. As we go further out again, the hierarchy continues, where we add more detail to each of the previous levels. We're branching for the ends of lines. We're using single words wherever possible and wherever appropriate. More about that shortly. And we've just started to use a few images as well. Now I realise that if you're using mind maps to work with, going to business meetings, it's probably unlikely you're going to use a whole lot of pictures in your mind maps. However, what you want to do is to stimulate your creativity or that of other people's, or to help you to remember effectively, then pictures are going to be very, very useful. And you notice that once we've started in one colour, all the subsequent branches are in that same colour. As we move on to the next branch, thinking, we can see a slightly different use of colour. In this case we're using the 5 colours that we use on our website to separate the 5 areas: information, communication, creativity, facilitation and motivation. So instead of using a single colour for all the subsequent branches coming out of thinking, we're using these separate colours. They help us to distinguish and be consistent with what we're using elsewhere to describe the company. So in the case of information, the words we use are learn, absorb and understand. In the case of communication, write, speak and influence. Creativity is all about innovation. Facilitation is also about meetings and coaching. And motivation, engagement, personal balance and leadership. As well as making associations hierarchically as we have here, it's also possible to make linkages from one branch to another. So that can simply be done, and this is using software of course, even simpler perhaps with pen and paper. Very simply we can show a link that says actually the courses here are linked to thinking. So there's a linkage between those different things. And that's one of the great advantages of mind maps, the ability to see linkages and associations that are very difficult to make and to identify when information is presented linearly over a number of different pages. So moving on then to the other two branches, choice and clients. Again, we're seeing the same pattern repeated. So choice of different modes of presenting information, post-course support, web-based information, which of course includes webinars and e-learning. Got different mechanisms for post-course support. We've got in-house delivery which is worldwide, and so on. And again, a few pictures help to clarify and amplify what's been included in words as well. Again, we're branching from the ends of lines, we're writing along the line, and wherever possible and appropriate, we're using single words to represent our ideas. Exactly the same pattern at the end as well. So if I go back and open up the other branches as well, we can see the way the information has expanded out hierarchically. The rules we've used are very simple. We've written along the lines, we've branched from the ends of lines. We've used single words wherever possible, expanded out in this radiant hierarchical structure. We've used colours, primarily using single colours for each branch and each subsequent branch, but also used colours in slightly different ways as well. We've used pictures fairly sparingly on this particular mind map. As you experiment using mind maps yourself, particularly when you're using them for creative thinking and for memory and learning purposes, the importance of colour and pictures is very, very important indeed. So the software we've used for this is Tony Buzan's iMindMap, very effective software, very easy to use. Pen and paper, it's actually even easier to follow the rules I've outlined during this demonstration.